The real reason you feel dysregulated all the time is not because you're sensitive or because your nervous system is broken. It's not because you haven't meditated enough or because your partner's emotional or because your job is stressful. No, the reason that you are dysregulated all the time and you're constantly trying to figure out how to regulate yourself is because you're lying to yourself. One of my favorite quotes from Mark Groves says this: if the truth burns down a relationship, a family, a community, or a society, then it was only ever held together by lies. And to that I say, let it burn. It's one of my favorite quotes of all time because there's so much for a people pleaser, a nice guy, good girl, these types that struggle to tell the truth because oftentimes honesty means not being liked or being misunderstood or hurting someone else's feelings or rocking the boat, right? It can be challenging. It can feel very threatening to tell the truth, knowing that it might shatter everything that you know. All right, y'all, so I just got out of this cold plunge. I am shivering right now, and I feel real called to talk about the truth. Telling the truth, honesty. For 2 years in this relationship, I was really trying to keep myself regulated. Doing a lot of breath work, meditation, getting into nature, spending time with friends and family, doing everything I could to keep my nervous system regulated. And it didn't matter how much I did because the most dysregulating thing ever for a human being is to lie to yourself. It's to be out of integrity with your soul. It's where your heart wants one thing and your mind is convincing you to choose something else. And that shearing, that disconnect is going to be absolutely anxiety inducing. It's going to be dysregulating to the nth degree. And it doesn't matter how much else you can shift in your external world. If you know that you are lying to yourself, if you know deep down that you are avoiding a truth that needs to be spoken or confronted or faced, that will ultimately keep you in a perpetual state of dysregulation because there's so much talk about the nervous system and wanting to stay regulated, and we do all these things to try to manage our external worlds, but something that we need to become acutely aware of is, where am I out of integrity? Where are you lying to yourself about what you need, about what you want, about where you're supposed to be, who you're supposed to be around, what job or relationship you're supposed to be in or not be in, the way you need to be showing up? Because these things are going to have the greatest influence on your ability to feel a sense of safety and calmness within your body. And if you continue to lie to yourself, it becomes very dangerous when that becomes the norm. And I'm speaking from experience here that there comes a point where lying to yourself becomes easier than confronting the truth. And when that's the case, all of a sudden, you're no longer living in your world. It takes an immense amount of courage to tell the truth, knowing that it may in fact burn down whatever false manifestation has come into existence as a result of telling the lies. But if the truth burns it down, then it was never meant to be there in the first place. And I'm making this video here because I want to speak this to my past self and maybe to anyone else who's in this position of, it's going to be uncomfortable to speak the truth. It's going to probably hurt someone else's feelings. And it's absolutely necessary because the pain of lying and then having to confront that how many days, weeks, months, or years later is going to be exponentially more heartbreaking than if you just honor your truth right now. The most fulfilling thing in the human life is to have your ego and your soul walking in the same direction. And what I mean when I say that is when you get this small nudge from inside, when you get this whisper, some people call it the soul, the daemon, your intuition, something that's guiding you beyond logic and reason that says, I need to go this way, or I need to take this opportunity, or be with this person, or leave this person, or go here, and you don't know why, but you just know it to be true. The moment you actually choose to listen to that and follow that, because it's going to be confronting, it's going to be scary, it's going to be uncomfortable probably as well, because it's stretching you. It's coming from the soul, not from the mind or the human comfort zone. But the moment you make the decision to honor that voice, that call, is when you are now walking in alignment with your soul, with your heart, with that deeper truth. And there's nothing more fulfilling in this lifetime than to know that you are walking your own path. The question that can be used to assess this is, what is it that I'm being called to say, do, or face that I'm not because I'm afraid? What am I being called to do that I am actively avoiding because I am afraid? Some iteration of this, right? What have I been avoiding? What am I afraid of? What am I feeling called to do that I've been denying? When's the last time I lied to myself? It's interesting, our capacity to lie to ourselves, because deep down, if we can lie to ourselves, there's always a part of us that knows that what the truth is. Otherwise, we wouldn't know it's a lie. And so if we get still and quiet and sit with the truth, I've done this before where I've sat with it and I've come to realize what is true. And I've also said, no, I don't want to hear that right now. I don't want to act on that. I don't want to bring that up. I do not want to face it. But inevitably there comes a time where that needs to be faced. Otherwise it will come out as sickness. It will come out as dysregulation. It will come out as anger. It will show up in ways that slowly deteriorate our sense of self. And we become numb, overwhelmed, or completely disconnected from feeling life itself. And so I make this to invite you into the truth. Do you have the courage and the strength to let the truth burn down whatever is built on lies? Because I can assure you this, whatever is on the other side of telling the truth, of speaking the truth, is going to be 10,000 times more fulfilling and peaceful and love-filled than anything that's built on this foundation of dishonesty. I just want to thank you guys for listening. Leave a comment below if something resonated. And until next time, big love.